Many of you may not know this, but I'm a coach, and I do coaching around people living in fat bodies and dealing with oppression, racism, those kinds of things. And I offer a free friend support group, and I've been running that every Friday for an entire year.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Body Honesty Project. My name is Lydia, and today we are doing a follow-up on the nastygram that I dropped on you last week. So if you haven't seen the first video, I do encourage you to watch that one first so that this one makes a little bit more sense. Now, I was going to do just a follow-up to respond to all the comments of, oh, she must be a troll, this can't be real, and I was just going to give you a little collage of a couple other clips from her page. But when I stumbled across this video and I found out that this person...
Your doctor's lying!
Yes, this person...
You're being a racist when you start promoting weight loss.
...is a coach. I thought that this TikTok deserved its own video, so I dropped that other idea and I'm doing this instead. So without further ado, let's jump right on in.
Many of you may not know this, but I'm a coach, and I do coaching around people living in fat bodies and dealing with oppression, racism, those kinds of things. And I offer a free friend support group, and I've been running that every Friday for an entire year. And I never ask for compensation. Not once. And I talk to people who go to that group one-on-one. Often. Because they reach out to me and say, hey, I got this thing I'm struggling with. Do you have any advice or any help? And I care about people so much that I am like, yes. Especially if you are in a super marginalized body. Like if you're black, if you're super fat, if you're Latina or Latino, if you are indigenous, I'm trying my best to support those people first. So how dare you come at me and tell me that I'm part of the problem? I am literally doing this for free. I am doing things that are affecting my mental health, that are affecting my physical health. And I'm very protective of those, by the way. But helping people still affects you because you care. You're a feeler. And feelers are healers, okay? It's normal. It's normal to feel. And feel for people who are struggling. That's normal. If you don't feel for people who are struggling, there's something wrong with you. But people coming at me and telling me that I need to be careful about what I'm doing and what I'm promoting. What am I promoting? I'm promoting healing. I'm promoting compassion, kindness. I'm promoting education around racism and eugenics and fat hate. That's what I'm doing. And I'm really powerful. And I'm really good at what I do. People are threatened by that. So please don't just come at me. I'm really smart. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. And if you have a problem with that, like literally go somewhere else. I'm doing this for free. I'm not asking for anything back. So the problem lies with you, not me. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So this one isn't quite as angry as the last one. But anger aside, it's still full of bullshit. And this video might be more dangerous than the other one because it isn't as angry and therefore more people might listen to it. But before I address the bullshit that's in this video, I do want to take a moment to talk about the good parts of it. And that is having a support community for people that have experienced discrimination, oppression, bullying, racism, and even fat phobia to a certain extent. I do believe that we should have support networks for these people so that they can talk about their problems with other people. And I say this because I would have benefited so much in my past if I had a support group that I could have turned to. Because maybe if I had the right support network when all that crap was happening to me when I was young, I wouldn't have made the stupid choices that I made later on in life and then had to undo a lot of the damage that had already been done as an adult. Now, I know that many of you have seen me fired up and angry at these TikToks because I really, really hate the spread of misinformation. But I'm not a callous, cold-hearted bitch. I do get it. I understand the pain that many of these people have endured most of their lives, and I understand why many of them cope with that pain with food. Now, if you've been watching me for a year or longer, then you've already heard my personal story, but I know that many of you have only recently joined me, so I'm going to share it all over again. Now, the reason why I relate so deeply to discrimination is because that is what my childhood was like. I grew up in a racist incubator. And I'm not just saying that as a person of color that had the odd slur hurled at them. No, growing up in the 1980s in almost 100% white neighborhoods was very, very difficult. On my very, very first day of school, I remember showing up all nervous, and I heard all the kids being all excited about something. There was a buzz going on in the schoolyard. And then I found out people were saying, there's a blackie in the class, there's a blackie in the class, there's a blackie in the class. And I'm like, what the hell is a blackie? And then I started to get excited too. I'm like, why is everyone all excited? Why is everyone all hopped up? Until I realized that the blackie was me. All the kids in the class were all excited because they had never seen someone who wasn't white. And there was this big buzz about it. And then I walked in and sat down, and I remember the kids coming in and gawking at me and went, oh, there's a blackie in the class. And that became my identity. I remember other kids trying to teach me about how to be a blackie. In fact, one of the girls told me, blackies don't have names. Only white people have names. You're just a blackie. And she'd make me practice at recess, where I would walk by and she would go, hi, Blackie, and I would say, hi, Melissa. I couldn't call her Whitey or something like that. She said, no, white people have names. You're just a Blackie. And this really, really messed with my identity as a child. In fact, I found old papers of mine from school where I signed it Blackie, because that's who I thought I was. Fast forward a couple years and we go and live in another all-white neighborhood where I am the only brown face in my entire school, and I am hurled insults and slurs every single day. The kids would yell, go back to your own country, yell the N-word to me all the time, even though I am not black, but at the time anyone that wasn't white was called that. The teachers turned a blind eye to it. They didn't say anything. And I remember being called into the principal's office when someone called me the N-word and I said, well, you're ugly. And then that was considered equal and we both got punished. Fast forward a couple years later and I'm in junior high school and I'm really, really nervous and I want to go and ask a boy to dance. So I grab the courage and I finally ask that boy to dance. And instead of saying just no, he says, what do you think I am, a monkey or something? Fast forward a couple more years, I come to my locker and someone wrote with indelible marker, fuck off Lydia, go back to China, you small eyes. I couldn't get that off. I had to stare at that every day for a week until the custodial staff took it off. Fast forward a couple more years, I finally have a boyfriend and everything is going great until I'm over at his house and I overhear him talking to his father. And his father says, well, she's nice, but that's not the type we marry. So have fun for now, but your wife should be white. All of these experiences wreaked havoc on my self-esteem, wreaked havoc on my self-worth. And because of that, I developed maladaptive coping mechanisms. I made a whole lot of bad choices because my self-esteem was so low. So I understand childhood trauma. I understand the scars of discrimination. I get it. I get it deeply. I am not someone who's going to tell these fat people that the fat bullying didn't exist or that the bullying shouldn't have hurt them deeply. Of course it hurt them deeply, and I believe that. But what I hate to see is them wallowing in it. So it's not the fact that there is therapy and support for these people that I have issue with. That's not it at all. I think that they do need therapy and support. But it's the type of support that I have issue with. My therapist listens to me. She validates my feelings. She validates my concerns. But she also helps me strategize what's the best pathway forward in order to get better. There's nothing wrong with having those feelings. But is it helpful to stay stuck? Dealing with oppression by adopting a maladaptive behavior is like you drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die. When I was young, I wanted to hide from the bullies. I wanted to stay home. I didn't want to go to skating. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to hide. But who was that hurting? Well, it was hurting me because I wasn't getting my education. I wasn't doing the sport that I wanted, and I wasn't spending time with the few friends that I had. The hiding wasn't helping. And as an adult, how did I deal with my insecurities? Well, I did attention-seeking behavior. I sought lust over love, and I was nasty in all of my relationships because I was taking out the frustrations from the people in my past on the people in my present. The hurt was real, but how I was dealing with it was destructive. If people bullied you because you were fat, they were wrong. Full stop. They were wrong. But coping with that bullying by staying fat and getting fatter hurts you, not them, you. And if coaching people in fat liberation means telling them things like this,
it's not healthy to have intentional weight loss.
How on earth is that helpful? I also find it interesting that she claims that she's doing this.
I'm promoting compassion, kindness. I'm promoting education around racism and eugenics and fat hate.
I'm sorry, but does this sound like healing, compassion, and education?
Your doctor is prescribing you an eating disorder because it's all tied to racism and eugenics. The diet culture informs doctors, not the other way around, y'all.
Because from where I'm sitting, all I hear is angerness, bitterness, and denial. And that troubles me so much more because she's a coach. You know when you're on a plane and they talk about the oxygen masks dropping and that you should put on your mask first before helping the person beside you? Well, I don't think that she has her mask on. So how is she qualified to help the person beside her? Now, she did say something that I do agree with.
I am doing things that are affecting my mental health, that are affecting my physical health.
Which is correct. She is doing things to her mental and physical health. I just think that what she's doing is destructive. We can already tell by visually looking at her that her physical health isn't great. Plus, she does have other TikToks commenting on her actual physical health. And we can deduce some aspects of her mental health based on what she says. Remember, these are some of her beliefs.
I am a fat person and you're attacking me by opening your mouth and saying shitty things about your fat body.
And if someone has a mentality like that, how are they fit to coach others? And of course, she doesn't think that people come at her because of her misinformation. She thinks it's something else.
And I'm really powerful. And I'm really good at what I do. People are threatened by that.
And you know what? She's right. But I would use the word scared more than threatened. because I am scared of her power. I am scared of her voice. I am scared that more and more people will believe this drivel. I am scared that she will convince someone to stay unhealthy and they will die young when they could have lived another 40 or 50 years. I'm scared that this messaging will get into the heads of our youth and the next generation will be sicker and fatter and dying younger. So yes, you do have a lot of power, and I personally am scared of it. She then concludes with what I find to be a very, very strange justification to her actions.
I'm doing this for free. I'm not asking for anything back. So the problem lies with you, not me.
So because it's free, it's altruistic? Is that what it is? So if I go to my son's middle school and start handing out free cigarettes, is that a good thing? Because I'm not making any money. I'm just giving them cigarettes for free. I actually think that the fact that her service is free is more dangerous because that means more people will take her up on it. More people will drink the Kool-Aid. Well, we've reached the end. And although this TikTok wasn't as angry as the last one, I do think that this one in a way is even more dangerous because the softer messaging might entice more people to believe this woman. At least if she was making some money on it, her audience would be a little bit smaller. But what do you think? Leave me a message down in the comments and let me know. So until next time, stay body positive, but also body honest.